as we join our hosts, Larry Levine and Daryl Amy.
Welcome back. It's day 3 of the 22 Trust Building Challenge. Daryl here with Larry Levine. Oh my goodness, what a great week, Larry.
This is the first 2 days have been incredible. Day 3 is going to be incredible. I'm just letting you all know I'm highly caffeinated this morning. So this is all full of coffee. So I'm excited. Let's get this thing going.
Look who's here. We're good friend Scott Schilling.
Scott Schilling's in the house.
You're looking forward to some Dan. I'm looking forward to some Dan Dominguez too. We got Dan Dominguez in the house from the Y Institute. It's going to be great. Hello, Ben. Look at all these people.
Ben, hey, by the way, I love Ben St. Clair. He's a rock star.
Oh my goodness. Talk about selling from the heart. Tegmeyer in the house. What a great day today. Welcome everybody. We're glad you're here. If you're here live, thanks for interacting in the chat. This is so much fun. We're going to have an incredible day today. I can't wait to introduce you to Dan Dominguez. Just so good. And Larry, it's been fun watching different people inside the challenge discover their why. And this is such an eye-opening experience. We're going to unpack that some more today, but it's just been fun seeing different people uncover their why. And I don't know about you, but I think this is like one of the fastest ways. It's like a shortcut or an accelerator to get to who is your authentic self. And we got to bring our authentic self to the table to be able to build trust with our prospects and clients.
No, absolutely. And there's a lot of chitter chatter about, right, uncovering your why. You see a lot of it on social, but until you really discover your why, a lot of it's just talk. This is powerful stuff. And just really quick, I just want to give a special shout out to Hugh Hornsby, because if it wasn't for Hugh Hornsby, we don't meet Dan Dominguez. So Hugh, you're awesome.
Yeah, huge shout out to Hugh Hornsby. Thank you. And but we're here and we're discovering our why. And by the way, if you're new to the challenge, welcome. We're glad you're here. And our friends, our new partner at the Y Institute, we're going to unpack this in detail today, but you might want to get a fast start on this because it takes less than 5 minutes to discover your why. And you can do that absolutely free. It's normally $47, but to kick off our friendship and partnership with the Y Institute, we went ahead and bought 300 licenses of the Y assessment. And Larry, boom, instant clarity. My why is a better way. We're going to talk about that. You figured out your why too, didn't you?
Yeah, mine's to contribute to a greater cause. And it just so aligns with my vision. It so aligns with who I am and what I do out in the marketplace.
Well, and this is where we are this week. We're thinking about trust in sales, and we're thinking about how do we build and grow and maintain trust with our prospects and clients. And this has been our operating model here, is the trust formula, saying, okay, we need authentic relationships. We talked about that yesterday. The other side of the trust coin, though, is meaningful value. And Larry, it's really, really critical that we're able to communicate value to the client, the value that our company and products bring to the client. But I would say also as sales professionals, the value that we bring personally to the client as well.
You know, absolutely. And this is why we've always said there's two sides to the trust coin, because there's so many in sales who get caught up in the relationship part of this. And I'm high relationship. But if we're not bringing any meaningful value, like we've always said, you got a lot of friends and you don't have a lot of sales.
They're buying you lunch because you're broke. You don't have the meaningful value side. You know, one of the things I think is going to come out of the conversation with Dan today is my meaningful value as a sales rep. My why is a better way. So when you interact with me, whatever company I'm happen to represent at that season of my career, yes, there's the value of the product. Yes, there's the value of that company, but you get the value of me, and I'm going to come in with a mindset of trying to find a better way. You're going to come in with your why, and the meaningful value we're able to add as sales reps is unique based on our why. And that's what's so powerful about discovering your authentic self. So we've got a great session today. We're going to unpack inspirational experience and disciplined habits as we move on into the rest of the week. But Larry, to me, this clarifying moment of being able to say, how do I add meaningful value as a professional? When you buy, you get me. What is that unique value? There's nothing that's given more clarity on that to me than understanding my why. And that's why it gives me great pleasure to introduce today's guest on the 2022 Trust Building Challenge, none other than our good friend, Dan Dominguez. Dan, welcome to the
Dan
challenge.
Dominguez is in the house.
Hey guys, welcome to, thanks for having me, man. I've been so excited about this. I've got my live show later today, but this is my highlight of the day, talking to both of you about why and about trust, because man, I just love the theme of this week. As I listen to Simon and I listened to our guest yesterday and learning from them about the importance of trust. I mean, the cards, Simon killed it, right?
Wasn't that great?
Yeah, that was amazing.
Oh man, and then Robin, when she talked about that crucial question, do I trust myself to deliver what I promise to my clients?
Yeah.
Man, that hits you right here. If you're a sales professional, you want to be able to deliver what you say you're going to deliver. And today, we're going to tie the why to that, because you know what? If you know what your why is, Daryl, you were just mentioning it. Your why is to find a better way. And when you know that, you can promise that all day long. And guess what?
Yes.
You're going to deliver that, because that's who you are. Larry, your why is contribute. If you say to your clients, man, I am going to deliver. What I'm going to deliver for you is I'm going to care about your success, probably even more than you do. Guess what? You're not going to have a hard time delivering that, because that's who you are. And so I'm sure we'll unpack all of that, but I want to give a big shout out to Robin and to Simon, because they kicked off this week amazingly.
It has been. And you know, what I really love about what you just said is, here's what I'm going to challenge everyone who's watching and really key in on this is, when you understand your why, we're going to coach you through in this challenge, especially with Dan, how to weave this into your conversations. And I would encourage you, with where trust and credibility is right now in the sales world, get your why out on that business table as fast as possible and watch how this changes the paradigm of the conversation.
Yeah.
Love that. Well, here I heard you say, Larry, if it wasn't for Hugh Hornsby who introduced me to you, well, Jim Packard's in the house. He introduced me to Hugh, who introduced me to Larry, who introduced me to Schilling.
It's a big love fest here, so it's all good.
Here's the thing: when you know your why, you start attracting people who believe what you believe. When you communicate who you are, you start attracting people who believe the same things you do. And that's Hugh, that's Scott Schilling, that's Jim Packard, this network of people who, hey, they know who I am. They know what they're getting from Dan. And so if you're looking for somebody, and I'll tell you, my why is contribute, just like Larry. If you're looking for somebody that wants to make a difference, I just got off a call with a client, and I'm trying to, he helps people write their stories. And at the end of the call, I said, so how can I help you? How can I bring people to you that need help writing their stories? And he said, Dan, I've met people who are servant leaders, but you take it to another level. You're literally sending me people that I can have become clients of mine. And that's what we do. That's what we lead with, right? Daryl, you're going to give away your ideas. I guarantee you, when Daryl finds a better way to do something, he can't wait to share it with others. Am I right?
I just got in trouble for that this morning, actually, Dan. That was it. Stop giving stuff away. That was so funny. But yeah, that's absolutely, it's what drives me. I look at a situation, I go, there's a better way to do this. Like we can figure this out. Let me show it to you. Right. Yeah. And what I love about what you said is, when you make that part of your promise to your clients, you don't have to work to make that promise happen, because it's in your DNA. Larry is going to contribute. You're going to contribute. I know that. Right. You do that. I am going to come with better way. Which brings up, I'm curious, what are some of the other whys? We got contribute. We got a better way. I know there's 9. Unpack some of the other ones for us.
So I'm going to give you the Cliff's Notes versions. Now, if you're listening, write these down, because that's going to frame the rest of the conversation today. So there are 9 whys, and we've done this with over 150,000 people. So, if there's another why out there, Daryl, we are a better way company, we'll add it. But right now, the 150,000 people we've done, there's 9. The first one is contribute. It's the most common. 22% of the population have this why. They're driven to make a difference in the lives of others. That's contribute. The second one is trust. People with the why of trust believe that if you trust me and I trust you, sky's the limit. If you break that trust, it's really hard to recover that. So very important that we know that about someone. The third most common is make sense. People with the why of make sense are really good at solving problems. They love taking in information and saying, I know what we need to do. We all know those people that are really quick. They love puzzles. They love solving problems. The next one is better way. That's you, Daryl. People that love taking things that exist, making them better, improving them, and then sharing that success with others. The next one is right way. This is a really important one. These are the people that love doing things the right way. They find processes and systems and they follow them. When you're coaching them, these are the people, you give them a 10-step program, they do everything by the book. They show up to that next appointment and they've done everything. And some people say, well, that's boring. Guess what? These are the people that hold companies together. These are the people that put the SOPs together. These are the people that create structures and systems. We need those right way people. And so they're very important. The next one is challenge. People with the why of challenge, these are the people, and you know them in your company, that always say, why do we have to do it that way? They're always looking for a different way of doing it. The difference between better way, which is Daryl, and challenge is better way people will do things differently if it's better. Challenge people will do it differently. Guess what? Just to be different. Our good friend Hugh Hornsby, he'll do it different just because it's different. Let's check it out. Let's see what happens.
That's awesome.
Say, well, is that better? If it's not better, I'm not doing it differently. But you're always looking for different and better. So then the last three are the least common. Then the first one is number 7 is mastery. People with the why of mastery love to learn things at a deep level. These are the people that get PhDs in obscure subjects because they just love learning things at a deep level. So they're your subject matter experts in your company. The next one is clarify. So that's Larry's how. People with the why of clarify love to be very clearly understood, and they want to make sure they understand you clearly. So Daryl, these are the people, when you send them a contract, they send you a 3-page email with questions about the contract.
Right.
They want to be clear on everything before they move forward. The beauty of them is they're the people you want looking at your contracts, because they're not going to let something slip by. They're going to read everything and make sure they're very clear on everything. And then the last one is simplify. This is the rarest why, but a lot of very successful people have this why, and they make things simple. They're the people that when we coach them, we say, hey, here's a 10-step program for you to get better. And they'll say, can you cut it to 3? Give me just 3. I can only do 3 things at a time. They're simple. They communicate simply. David Tegmeyer, his why is simplify. He was just saying, look, let's get to the point. Just give me the bottom line. That's what simplified people do. And Daryl, that's your why. So you're familiar with it. You know, you like things simple. So those are the 9 whys. Everybody has one. What we have found is that when you know your why, what you do has more impact, because now you're driving and you're working in a place where, hey, I'm a contributor. So in everything I do, I want to make a difference. So I want to work in a place where I can make a difference. If you're working in a place where you're not making a difference in the lives of others, you're not going to be fulfilled. So you're going to go find that somewhere else. I did that. I was a senior sales leader at a Fortune 100 company, making really good money and had direct reports, and we were hitting quota and winning trips. And I wasn't fulfilled because I didn't feel like I was making an impact and a difference in the lives of others. I was hitting numbers, but numbers weren't what's important to me. People are. And so guess what I did on the weekends and in the evenings? I volunteered for a lot of stuff because I have that need to make a difference. I was on boards. I'm a Rotarian. I was helping run charitable golf tournaments. That's where I got my kick. So now at Y Institute, as a chief growth officer, I get to do that as what I do every day. I make a difference in the lives of the coaches that we work with and the clients that we work with. So then we do both, right? We're making an impact and we're making a living.
Oh, this is so good. Hey, by the way, Dominguez, did you catch I'm wearing my Kiwanis shirt now that you just said Rotary?
Hey, Rotary and Kiwanis, just making a difference in the world.
Look at you contribute, guys.
Here's something. I can't wait to dive into this more, but I just have to take everyone back just for a second.
Yeah.
Just so y'all know, Daryl and I are super massively competitive.
Yeah.
Massively competitive. So can you just repeat for everyone who's watching, what's the number one why that's out there?
The number one most common why is contribute.
Okay. And what was mine?
Contribute.
Okay. So Daryl, check that one out. Take that one home.
So what that
your
means?
comment, is that what you're telling me, Larry?
You're not near as rare as Daryl. He's the number 4.
Right.
It's all good. I had to bring this up, but as we dive into this, you know, because there's sales leaders and there's sales professionals that are viewing this.
Right.
is let's coach them along on a couple of things. Why is it important to uncover this? And then how can you weave this into a conversation when you're meeting with an executive or decision maker? How can you weave this in to build that trust and credibility faster?
Oh, I love David's comment. Keep it simple. But here's the deal.
Leave it to Tegmeyer.
You know, if you want to know, I asked this in my post today. How can you describe yourself to your clients in 30 seconds or less? How can you describe what your unique abilities and talents are? Because guess what? When you're sitting across from that prospect for the first time, you're looking at them and saying, hey, can I help them? Am I going to be able to do what they need? And they're asking themselves the same question, right? Can that guy help me? What does he bring into the table? And so you've got your product or your value proposition or whatever it is that you bring, and that is going to sell itself. There's the features and benefits of that. But what are you bringing to the table? So here's the way I look at it. And there's more to the why. I know you guys have heard about Daryl's why and Larry's why, but there's two more steps to it. There's your how and your what. So as a Better Way company, a few years back, we found that everybody not only has a why, everybody has a how and a what. So from those 9 whys that I described, my how is to challenge the status quo. So when I do things, the way I contribute is by doing things differently, bringing outside the box ideas and creativity. So that's the way I contribute. And then my what is make sense. So what I deliver, what I bring are solutions that make sense, that solve problems. So Daryl, when I meet with you, and I don't know anything about you, but I want to introduce myself. I'm going to say to you, hey, Daryl, I'm Dan Dominguez. I'm the Chief Growth Officer at Y Institute. That's what I do. Let me tell you why I'm here. I believe in everything that I do is I want to make a difference in the lives of others. I want to make a positive impact. So I want to help you in selling from the heart succeed. That's what drives me. Now, how I'm going to do that, Daryl, is I'm going to bring ideas that are different and out of the box, and I'm going to bring a different way of looking at things. So if you're comfortable with that, we're going to get along great. And at the end of the day, what I bring, my promise to you is I'm going to help you make sense of it. So now you know who you are dealing with, right? You're not guessing what Daniel brings. And you can also make a decision that says, you know what, that challenge part, I'm not comfortable with that. Dan, maybe we're not a fit. And that's okay too, right? Because we can make that decision early on. How many of us have had a client, a consulting or a coaching client, or a client in our business that we've had to fire? That's just not a fit because we didn't find that out about each other early on enough, right? And we're not a fit for each other. And so we say, you know what, Daryl, I think my coach down the road is probably better fit for you. Because Daryl, you're a Better Way guy. So let's see, you're Better Way, challenge, and simplify. So how did Daryl and I connect so easily? Well, his why is Better Way. He's always looking for better ways. His how is challenge. We share the same how. So we both like it, look at things outside the box, be creative. We're visionary. So when Daryl and I had a conversation, I mean, we ran out of time. I remember he had another appointment, I had another appointment. We were just riffing on, hey man, here's a different way to do this. Here's another different way. And he was looking at ideas. Larry, same thing with you. Your why is contribute, which matches mine. So we connected at that different level in that we both were looking at ways, how can we help each other? Larry was connecting me to people immediately. Here's someone else you need to meet. And I was trying to do the same for him. So when you know your why and you know the why of your prospect or their client, and that's what I do. I literally, and you know this, Larry and Daryl, because you dealt with me, I don't even want to talk to anyone if I don't know their why, because I don't want to guess what's important to them. I want to know. I know what's important to Daryl. So I want to talk to you about how working together is going to be a better way to do business. And with Larry, I'm going to talk to you about how together we can make a difference, because that's what's important to you. Does that make sense?
No, this is so golden. So here's what I want us to think about really quick, and we're going to dive into this some more.
Yeah.
But I want everyone who's watching, let's just think about this for a moment. Let's think about all the coaching. There's a lot of great coaching. There's a lot of great training out there. We've all been to great workshops and all this. But think about where trust and credibility sits. Now I want everyone to think about the first 5 minutes of a conversation with a new opportunity, a key decision maker, a key influencer. Right. What usually gets thrown down in the first 5 minutes? We all know that. Imagine with confidence and with clarity, and I'll throw in another C word, with conviction, you introduce yourself by sharing your why and rolling out exactly what Dan just said. I can guarantee you this. Watch what happens next as that executive does this. Whoa. And then they lean back in and go, holy cow, what just happened?
Right.
Think
You know
about
what you'll find, Larry. Go ahead, Daryl.
Well, no, I just want to put a highlighter on. We were talking yesterday with Robin about that first few moments, and actually, the energy you bring based on how you show up, and your confidence, and just to layer on top of that, then to begin the conversation with something that is, as the other C word that we could bring in here is the congruency, right? That Bill
Right.
McCormick said in the comments, to show up congruent. So I'm not, I'm going to walk in and I'm not going to say, that I'm here to challenge and no, my why is a better way, right? And to walk in being me in that conversation brings a congruency and alignment to where I can take what Robin said and layer on top of that. So now we go from showing up authentically to another layer of being authentic in terms of how I'm going to bring value to you, because I'm going to bring value in this specific way. And so to me, that I just highlighter on that, because those first few moments of a relationship, of a conversation, so many unspoken decisions are being made in those moments, and to show up and be congruent with your why, powerful.
And you're going to be confident. There's Michael Jr. tells a story. When you talk to someone and you ask them, hey, where did you go to school? If they went to USC or Harvard, they say, well, I went to USC. I went to Harvard. If they didn't go to one of those schools, or maybe they didn't go to college, it's a story, right? It's like, well, what happened is, first, I didn't get my financial aid. And all of a sudden you get into this story. It's the same thing. When you know your why, you're confident. Daryl, tell me about yourself. You're going to say, man, let me tell you about me. I believe that success begins when we find a better way and we share it with others. Now, how I do that is by challenging the status quo and doing things differently. I bring fresh perspectives to everything that I do. And at the end of the day, what you can count on from me is simple solutions. And man, and I'll tell you what happens. And Larry talked about that CEO or that decision maker leaning back. The next thing they do is they lean in and they say, tell me more. Tell me more about how you do that. And then guess what? Now you get to tell success stories. Because when somebody asks me, says, hey, Dan, tell me more about how you contribute to the success of others. Guess what? I've been doing that my entire life. I've got stories of other clients like you, Daryl, that I've worked with, that I've contributed to their success. Let me tell you about that. Let me tell you the fresh and different ideas that I brought to them. And let me tell you how I helped them make sense of it so that we could move forward faster. And all of a sudden, the conversation is about success and not about, well, what's your price? How do you compare to those guys? It's not about that. It's about how you and I can connect authentically. The first part, right? The first part of the trust formula. So when we talk about authentic relationships, how can you create an authentic relationship if you don't know who you are? So I was looking at chapter 2 of your book, Larry. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom, Aristotle. Right? That's at the very top. And then how do you get rid of sales chaos? Part 2 of that. How do you get rid of that sales chaos? Well, the first step is self-reflection. So what the why allows us to do is understand who we are. Because once we know who we are, then we can communicate that clearly. And we're not telling a story. We're just saying, hey, this is who I am.
Yep.
You want to work with me? Yes.
Yeah.
Or you know what? No, I don't. And that's okay too. Let me find somebody that can. Because there's someone else at my company that's probably a better fit for you. Let me bring them in. But if you're looking for someone who wants to help you, somebody that's going to challenge you, and somebody that's going to help you make sense of things, I'm your guy. You in? Let's do it.
Oh,
love it.
Hey, I love this. So, hey, walk us through, because I love real life stories, and I think this would just be a great opportunity, and you can condense this for time's sake. Walk our viewers through how you understood my why, you understood Daryl's why, and how you weave this together to form a trusting partnership like we have with the Y Institute. Just lay the landscape out on this and how it changed the conversations, how you weave this in to create the partnership that we've created, because you knew this up front.
Yeah. Well, look, I knew who I was talking to, right? I knew Daryl, I knew Larry, and there's that third partner, Jackie Joy. I knew all of you, and I actually understood all of your whys, all of your hows, and all of your whats. So, I mean, Daryl and Larry are very different. Daryl's looking for a better way, looking to challenge things and looking to keep things simple. Larry, on the other hand, he's looking to contribute, but he has to have clarity. His how is clarify. So I knew coming in that Larry was going to be the guy that was going to be asking all the questions. How does it work? How much does it cost? How many people have you trained? Where do the whys come from? Give me all that background. And I also know this, right? Once I answer Larry's questions, he's going to go forward 100 miles an hour. But you have to answer those questions. So he's that, if you're in sales like I am, like we all are, if you're a sales leader, he's that client that drives you crazy because they ask so many questions and you want to give up and you say, oh my gosh, you know what? There's another email asking for more.
Killing me, Larry. You're killing me.
But if you know, right? If you know up front who you're dealing with, you expect it. I knew that this, when I get on the phone with somebody with the how of clarify or clarifying their top 3, I know that we're not going to hang up and close the deal right then and there. We got to give him time to process the information, got to send him information. Any question he asks, treat it with the respect that it deserves because that's how his mind works. So you respect the gift that person has for wanting clarity. Daryl, on the other hand, wants it. How's it better? How's it different? And can you make it simple? And it was like, if it had been just Daryl and I, Larry, you guys would have been Y coaches 3 months ago. But we knew that we had to bring Larry.
Hey, Dominguez, stop it. So, hey, just really quick. Here's the whole point behind this. Really, stories are awesome because this is real world stuff, everybody.
That's right.
So I'm on a call with Dominguez and I'm on a call with Daryl. I think Jackie might have been on the call.
She was, yes.
And I'm like asking all these questions and all that. I'm getting the stink eye from Daryl because we're all on Zoom. And I can say, I already know how this call is going to end, right? So I'm just going to shut my mouth. I already know what's going to happen, right? Didn't that how it went? But here's the point. Think about how this relates in the day in the life of the conversations you're having out there right now. Mm-hmm. This is real world stuff. And this isn't sales frameworking stuff or anything like this. This is authentic human connection and conversation that will change the course of how fast you build trust.
Absolutely. And it's funny. You see how we're laughing about it, Larry? We're laughing about it because
I wasn't laughing about it then. I'm laughing about it now.
Well, you were sitting there. Oh my gosh.
I had resting business. Hey, Jackie Joy, I had resting business face on. I tell you that.
I can tell you, Jackie and Daryl were like, come on. Let's keep asking. Let's get Larry's answers. And I'm answering as fast as I could. But here's the thing. You work with the strengths that you have and with the strengths of the people that you're working with. And I can tell you, Larry asked the question, the value that Larry brings, because I can tell you, Daryl will jump. He's a shiny object guy, right?
Hey, repeat that. Hey, real quick. Can you repeat that again, please?
Look, he's a shiny object guy. We know that.
Again, one more time.
Shiny object guy.
There we go.
We're gonna core strength, Larry. It's a core strength.
It's a strength. He is gonna look for a better way, and if there's a different way to do it, he's gonna jump at it. Let's go do it. Larry's gonna say, hey, slow down, let me ask some questions. Have you thought about this? Have you thought how it's going to impact the business, how it's going to impact our pipeline, our 10-year strategy, our 5-year strategy? You want that guy on your team, because otherwise Daryl's going to jump from idea to idea. And so you hold each other accountable using the strengths of each other. You guys have none of your top 3 in common. So, but you do know, Larry, that if you want Daryl to jump at something, show him how it's better, show him how it's different, and show him how it's simple. And guess what Daryl's going to do?
And then I dangle a shiny object in front of him that has the name Apple on it.
And he's all in, right? Same thing for you, Daryl.
Yeah.
You know that if you're bringing something to Larry, the way to bring it to him is show him, hey, Larry, let me show you how this is going to make a difference for our clients. Let me show you a clear plan that I have to make sure that it builds trust, because that's what is trust. So he talks about trust. This is what this week is all about, is building trust. What a better way to build trust than to understand yourself, communicate yourself. If you're a sales leader out there and you have a team, listen, I was a senior sales leader at a medical device company with lots of direct reports and lots of direct reports under them. If I had had this tool then, there is no telling what the potential was, because we all have that person that works for us. We say, man, why did they do that? Why do they always do that? You ever ask yourself that about somebody that works for you? So for the challenge people, I like using this one. never follow the steps. Man, you can give them step-by-step instructions. They're going to do step 3 first, and they're going to skip around because guess what? That's fun. It's different. They like different. If you have a CRM, they're the last ones to put their stuff in. But man, are they good relationship people? Are they creative, right? You take a challenge person and you put them in a box, they're going to wilt. You start giving them too many rules, too much structure, and they hate it. And then they want to run out of work at the end of the day. You put a challenge person, you say, hey, look, I thrived at my job because my sales leader for a long time, you know what his quote to me was? Here's your quota. And the last year I was there, it was $500 million. Here's your quota. Don't break the law. See you at the quarterly meeting. You give a challenge guy that kind of parameters, man, did I have fun. I didn't break the law, and we hit quota. You started putting restrictions on that and say, hey, you need to meet with your key accounts 10 times a month, and you need to meet with your reps every so often, and your managers, and there's a quota for that, and there's a key KPI. That guy wasn't me. And I couldn't do that. And so I had to move. I had to find a place where I could be creative and be myself. So understanding your top performers, a lot of times are going to have different drivers. So if they're a challenger, let them have freedom. Give them the bumpers. These are your bumpers. Don't get outside these bumpers and you'll be okay. And then let them go. Your right way people. So those people that crave that structure, give them all the structure, give them all the everything they need to do step by step, and they're going to thrive in that environment because they love that structure. You know, I heard something that I want to share with you guys, the difference between right way and challenge. So we know right way people follow the rules, and challenge people love to break the rules. And you know, right way people, a right way person, and if your why is right way, if it is not strictly allowed, if it's not specifically allowed, it's forbidden. You don't do it, right? If it doesn't say to do it, you don't do it. For a challenge person, if it's not strictly forbidden, guess what? It's allowed. And that's the difference, right? Imagine knowing that. How many of us have seen those conversations where one person's saying, well, where does it say we can do it? And the other person saying, well, where does it say we can't? They just see the world differently. And we want to know that about them so that we can understand them. Just the way I knew that Larry needed clarity. So I didn't let that bother me. I just provided it as much as I could until we could get to the place where we could move forward.
I love it. I love it. Well, in the time we have remaining, you know, one of the things we've referred to throughout this conversation, we've been talking about your why all week, but now we're also talking about your how and your what. So what's that? Unpack that for us. Because starting, you know, discovering your why is step one.
Right.
But there's like a whole treasure trove of insight and value below that.
I love that you said treasure trove because Robin Treasure was a treasure.
I see Robin. She's in the chat. So Robin, we're thinking of you.
Thank you for being on yesterday, Robin. Right here, exactly what Daryl just said. So when you know your why, that's your driver. I like to call it your why is what your passion. Your how, it's how you go about. That's your process. And then your what is your promise. It's what people can count on from you. So it's your passion, your process, and your promise. For me, my passion is helping people. My process is by challenging the status quo. And my promise is that I'm going to help you make sense of it. For Larry, his passion is contributing. His how is by providing clarity. And his promise is he's going to build trust. Right? So your YOS is your who. It's who you are. So you guys, you know, you're my favorite new partner at Y Institute. I got to tell you, you guys not only decided, you know, we're doing this program together, but one of your people, Jackie Joy, your chief activator, motivator, the glue. Let's face it, she's the glue that holds you guys together, right?
Jackie Joy's mother hand.
Head coach. Yeah, absolutely.
So she's your head coach. She recently went through our YOS training, and she's actually doing this workshop for you guys. I don't know if you guys are going to talk about it, but she and I have been working on putting together a workshop so that all of those people, and oh, by the way, kudos to you. You put your money where your mouth is. You bought 300 why discoveries to give away to your attendees so they can know their why. So I know that Robin and I have had conversations about her why. Paul Wilson's one of our coaches. He's on there. You know, I love hearing people understand why their why. But a lot of them are probably saying, okay, but there's more to me than my why. And there is. That's your how and your what. So the why, how, what, your why operating system consists of your why. And then one of the other whys is your how. and one of the other whys is your what. So that's how we come up with your why, your how, and what. And we put it all together. Simon Sinek started this 13 years ago, the golden circle. Your why is at the center, then your how you go about doing it, and what is it that people can count on from you. We've just formulated it and shared it with people in a practical way so you can use it in your messaging, you can use it in your marketing, you can use it to develop your key, what do we call it? Your meaningful value, your unique value proposition. It's your why, your how, and what.
You know what I love about this is, hey, just really quick, and then there's a
Mm-hmm.
phenomenal question, Daryl, from Joe Katzenberg, and I'd love to hear Dan's response on it. But once you uncover your why, your how, and your what, here's what I would encourage you all to do: formulate it, craft it, and get it up on your LinkedIn profile as fast as possible. So when you're connecting and you're driving and you're engaging in conversation with people, when they hit your profile, they're going to go right to your about you, and your why, your how, and your what sit right at the top. They'll know real quick how to start engaging with you.
Well, and this is where we get to share the exciting announcement. And Jill, we're looking forward to grabbing your comment here, and we'll have some more interaction. But what I'm so excited about is that Dan and Jackie are collaborating to bring to attendees of the challenge a Discover Your Why, How, and What, your whole YOS workshop, where you take a deep dive into your why, into your how, into your what, the implications of that. And now you get to show up as a sales professional or sales leader in a whole way. Like when I got all of that material and started diving, it is truly a treasure trove. I mean, it is like light bulb moment after light bulb moment of self-understanding. And I am so excited. This workshop, by the way, if you want to get involved in it, the URL is in the chat. It's also scrolling across the bottom. Go to sellingfromtheheart.net/y-workshop. Pretty simple, y-workshop. And you can learn about it. And the exciting thing, I'm just drum roll on this. Normally, we got to negotiate with Dan. So Dan's a good partner. Normally it's $499 for the YOS workshop. And that is compared to the value of that, it should be $10,000. Like, it's so valuable. But Dan, I don't know how we got this, but hey, we're doing for this workshop coming up. It's gonna be our first YOS workshop, and it's coming up. I should know the date. It's October 12th, I believe. Jackie's going to put it in the chat because she knows. And it is going to be available for just $259 if you're here at the event. So not only can you discover your why for free, you can get this deep dive. And Dan, I can't wait for this. I'm so excited for everybody to experience the light bulb moments. There is a better way, and
there is a better way. Well, let me say this, because I want to answer, because Larry, you brought it. I want to answer Jill's question. How do you subtly find out what your client's why is so you can tailor your conversation? Let me tell you the way I do it, Jill. First of all, I don't even give my clients, because this is what I do, I don't give them the option. I say, hey, look, Daryl, before we meet, I would love to know a little bit more about you. And so I'm a YOS certified coach. I'd like to send you this quick questionnaire. It takes only about 8 to 10 minutes to complete, but it's going to help me better prepare for working with you. So would you mind doing that? It only takes 8 to 10 minutes, Jill. So very few people are going to say no. And you know what? If they say no to that, is that really somebody you want to work with? You're giving them a gift.
Yep,
You're
exactly.
giving them a gift, and it's a gift of understanding. The other way, Jill, that I find is when I confidently state my why, how, and what, and that person leans in and says, hey, how do you know that? How can you state that so succinctly and so well? I say, well, I did the YOS discovery. So that's how I found out who I am and how to state it. If you'd like to do it, let me send it to you. And then you can do it yourself so that we can have a deeper conversation. And it really isn't, there is no subtle way. There's no shortcut to it. We just say, hey, take it, and then let's talk about it.
That's beautiful.
Oh, I love that. I love that stuff.
This is so powerful. We got time for a few more questions if you want to pop them in.
I want to say hi to Liz Wendling. She's on.
I know. I just saw Liz Wendling's in the house.
Selling with authenticity. She is a man. I love Liz Wendling. If I hope we get a chance to talk to her here soon, but she's amazing.
She's a true friend. That's just to confirm, Jackie has confirmed, it's October 12th. It's going to be an amazing day. You can learn more about this workshop at sellingfromtheheart.net/y-workshop. And oh man, Dan, this is going to be so much fun. I am so excited about like the power of what we're talking about here. And my how is simplify. And this is simple and powerful at the same time. And so maybe this is why I get so excited about this, but the simplicity of understanding the authentic value that you bring, as our coach Dave Sanderson says, congruency. We talk about congruency so much. This helps you be congruent, and this deep dive that you take is going to be incredibly powerful in your ability to be congruent with your prospects and your clients. And that's the heart of trust, more sales, more fulfillment. I mean, all of this is just a flywheel of authentic success. And that's why I'm so excited. Dan, what can they expect in the workshop? Give us a couple bullet points here in the time we have remaining.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you come to the YOS workshop, and Jackie has done a great job already of preparing for it. We've been looking at the presentation. You're going to learn, obviously, your why. You're going to come in there with your why, but we're going to figure out, it's a similar questionnaire to the one you took to discover your why. We're going to figure out your how and your what. And then we're going to put that together. Everybody, you want to be able to, like when somebody asks you, hey, tell me about you, you want to have that Harvard USC answer, right? Hey, let me tell you who I am. Not, I started here, whatever. You can tell that succinct story. So I just was on the phone yesterday on a conference with 11 of our new coaches that have come on here in the last month. And we went through, how do you brand yourself? How do you talk about you? From the perspective of your why, how, and what. As Larry said, he put it on his profile. And guess what? When people see that profile, they know who Larry Levine is and what they're going to get from him and how he's going to go about it. And so they can choose. Here's the powerful thing. When you tell people what you believe, you attract people who believe what you believe. That's not me. That's Simon Sinek.
They self-select themselves right into an engagement conversation. Yep.
And guess what? They want to work with you just because they're looking for what you have. They saw that on your profile. You're a better way guy. Hey, I'm looking for a better way to do this. If he's got a better way, I'm going to talk to him. And they're hiring you because you have a better way. So you communicate yourself out to the market in your language so that you let people know. Every one of those top three, your why, your how, and what, are really your beliefs and your motivations. It's what motivates you to get out of bed in the morning. It's what you believe. You believe in finding a better way. You believe in challenging the status quo, and you believe in keeping things simple. Larry believes in contributing to the success of others. He believes in clarifying and believes in building trust. Those are your beliefs. If you believe those things, come work with me. If you don't, that's okay. Don't call me. We'll go work. Go find someone else that has what you're looking for.
Yep.
And it doesn't mean we have to have the same why. It just means, are you looking for what I have? Liz is a better way lady and a simplify lady. So if you're looking for a better way to sell, a simple way to sell, you go to Liz, right? But if you're not, then you don't. And that's okay too, because that makes our job easier. We're working with ideal clients that are looking for our talents all the time.
So beautiful. Dan, thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad Jim and Hugh and all of these relationships led us to this point. I'm so excited for all the people already in the challenge who've discovered their why. And I can't wait to be able to hang out at this workshop and really take a deep dive with everybody. It's going to be so much fun. You're a true Selling from the Heart champion. It's such an honor. Thank you for hanging out with us today. And I know we're going to see Dan Dominguez a lot more inside Selling from the Heart.
Yeah, because Dan, hey, just so y'all know, Dan's coming on the Selling from the Heart podcast in the not too distant future. So
yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Part 2 of this.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. This has been so much fun. I love being a part of it. I love the Trust Challenge. I've learned so much this week, and I can't wait for the end of the week.
Sweet. All right. Well, thank you, Dan. And thank you, everybody. All the engagement here has been so much fun. Definitely discover your why. And I know so many of you are going to want to join us at the first inaugural, say that 5 times. The first, we'll simplify, the first YOS.
Dave Tegmeyer is smiling right now. I know he's just cut 3 words off of that.
It's so good. Thank you so much, Dan. Thank you to everybody in the challenge. Hey, do us a favor, spread the word, because we have got an amazing day lined up tomorrow. We're not done yet, Larry.
No,
Just wait.
tomorrow. Just wait. You're in for a treat with Cynthia Barnes.
Woo,
Pure dynamite. By the way, special
Be fun.
shout out to Jackie Joy. Again, our community connects people together.
That's
I met
right.
Cynthia Barnes through Jackie Joy, an amazing, amazing lady. She's actually, we recorded a podcast with her. It hasn't dropped yet, but she is one amazing lady and is going to bring trust to the forefront again.
Yeah. So here's the challenge. Challenge is take action, discover your why. If you've already discovered your why, I want to challenge you to share it with your coworkers. Because imagine what happens when this dialogue is going on inside your sales bullpen and inside your company about your why. So share that, share your why with a video on the LinkedIn challenge group if you haven't done that already. And Larry,
pop that in the, no, hey, just really quick though. And I know you're going to sign off, but pop it in chat, pop the Selling from the Heart group into chat so people have it in case they're first time viewers here. And then the other thing, just a real quick ask of everybody, if you've enjoyed Monday, yesterday, and today, please do us a favor. Share this out on LinkedIn, share what this has meant to you, give a shout out to people and so forth, because our guests are investing an hour of their time to bring you their insight and their sage wisdom. We just love hanging out and having a great time. But if you can just help us promote this and get this message out, we'd sincerely appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we got a great day tomorrow with Cynthia Barnes. I'm so excited. Thanks for engaging today, and we'll see you same time, same channel tomorrow.
Thank you for joining us today for the Trust Building Challenge. Building trust requires action. Your challenge to take what you have learned today and work together to put it into action right away. If you enjoyed the ideas and inspiration you've received today, please take a moment to share this challenge with your friends and clients. Let's all take action. We'll see you again tomorrow.